Did you know that up to 15% of the population displays covert narcissistic traits, yet most victims never recognize the abuse? Imagine a partner who constantly claims to be the victim while subtly demanding endless praise. Their quiet self-importance can feel like genuine vulnerability, making you lower your guard and invest emotionally. This hidden form of manipulation is harder to spot than the classic grandiose narcissist, and it often leaves you questioning your own perception. The core mechanism is covert narcissism, a form of narcissism where the individual masks superiority with false humility. Psychologists label this as vulnerable narcissism, high sensitivity to criticism, and a perpetual victim stance. These individuals maintain fragile high self-esteem, a secretly inflated sense of worth that collapses under any perceived slight. To keep their self-image intact, they manipulate others into providing constant validation, turning empathy into a tool for control. Research in the Journal of Personality Disorders confirms this hidden dynamic drives many toxic relationships. When a covert narcissist receives praise, their ventral striatum, reward center, releases dopamine, a chemical that signals pleasure. Simultaneously, perceived criticism triggers the amygdala, threat detector, and spikes cortisol, stress hormone. This push-pull creates a fragile self-esteem loop. The brain craves validation to calm the stress response, making the individual hyper-dependent on external approval. Over time, the prefrontal cortex, decision-making area, becomes less effective at regulating emotions, so the person reacts impulsively with victim narratives to protect their ego. You might notice they often downplay achievements while subtly fishing for compliments, saying things like, "I guess I'm just lucky, but no one really appreciates my hard work." They will frequently claim to be misunderstood, turning minor disagreements into attacks on their character. Watch for a pattern of silent treatment followed by sudden, exaggerated apologies that include self-pity. They may also compare themselves to others in a way that elicits guilt, such as, "You'd think after all I've sacrificed, you'd be more grateful." These cycles keep you emotionally tethered. Your brain rewards empathy with oxytocin, bonding hormone, so you naturally respond to perceived vulnerability. Covert narcissists exploit this by presenting a fragile facade, triggering a caregiving response before you have time to analyze motives. Additionally, the intermittent reinforcement schedule, sporadic praise mixed with criticism, creates a dopamine cortisol loop that feels like an emotional high. Research from the Lancet Psychiatry shows this pattern rewires the brain's reward pathways, making it feel less like manipulation and more like a genuine connection. 1. Subtle self-deprecation that always ends with a request for reassurance. 2. Frequent victim stories that lack concrete details. 3. Sudden shifts from praise to criticism without clear cause. 4. Use of guilt trips, "After everything I've done, you can't even." 5. Pattern of love bombing followed by silent treatment. 6. Consistent need for validation after any perceived slight. 7. Dismissal of your boundaries by framing them as personal attacks. The escalation moves from emotional nuance to overt control. Behind the mask lies a fragile ego that cannot tolerate any hint of inferiority. The covert narcissist's internal narrative is one of constant insecurity, so they weaponize empathy to secure a steady stream of admiration. Their behavior is driven by a need to protect their self-concept from shame, which they accomplish by projecting a victim role and demanding rescue. This dynamic also satisfies the dark triad's low agreeableness, lack of genuine concern for others, while allowing strategic exploitation of relationships for emotional supply. Studies in personality and individual differences reveal that covert narcissists score high on vulnerability scales and low on authentic self-esteem, confirming the fragile high self-esteem model. The Lancet Psychiatry demonstrates that intermittent reinforcement, unpredictable rewards, intensifies attachment, making detachment feel like withdrawal. Moreover, the American Psychological Association links gaslighting tactics to cognitive dissonance, mental discomfort from holding contradictory beliefs, which covert narcissists amplify by denying their own manipulative actions. Together, these findings explain why the pattern feels both alluring and exhausting. Researchers recommend the reality check journal method: write down dates, conversations, and emotions after each interaction to break the gaslighting cycle. Practice boundary reinforcement by using the assert technique. State, "I feel uncomfortable when you," then pause for their response. Build a support network. External validation counteracts the dopamine cortisol loop. Finally, engage in self-compassion exercises to restore authentic self-esteem, reducing the brain's reliance on external praise. If the pattern persists, consider a strategic exit plan that includes legal and financial safeguards. Understanding covert narcissism turns a hidden threat into a recognizable pattern, giving you the power to protect your mind and emotions. Knowledge is the first line of defense. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs to see the signs. Follow for daily psychology insights that keep you safe.